Well, greetings to all of our good friends at Azura. We're so glad you're joining me here again today. And you'll notice that on my cover of the book, today I'm going to share, is a picture of a lamb. And the story is called The Sheep That No One Could Find. And it's illustrated by Anthony DeSalvo. So let's see what the story has for us today. Oh boy, look at all the sheep in this picture. Do you see all the sheep? There once was a good shepherd who tended his sheep in a field by a mountain, high, green, and steep. The sheep would go grazing right down to the sea. They always were happy and always were free. As long as they followed the shepherd, they knew that nothing could harm them or frighten them too. But one of the sheep decided one day the words of the shepherds were hard to obey. Instead, he decided to do things his way. He even decided to turn far away. So he snuck off alone as fast as he could over the river and into the woods. At last, said the sheep, as he stood near a tree, I won't have to follow the shepherd and be like all the others. I'll really be free. Here you see him underneath a big apple tree. Uh-oh, looks like trouble. There's a wolf. So into the valley, the little sheep crossed and wandered all day until he got lost. Lost and confused, he wasn't aware a hungry old wolf had spotted him there. The wolf licked his lips and drooled at the sight. He got an idea and said with delight, I think I'll have lamb chops for dinner tonight. Sounds like the sheep's in trouble. What do you think? But in order to take the sheep by surprise, the wolf had to use a most clever disguise. He put on a sheep suit, a mask on his head, then waved to the sheep and cheerfully said, how about having some dinner with me? I live over there. Would you like to come and see? The sheep, who felt lonely, said in reply, I'd love to have dinner with you and I. But when he arrived at the hungry wolf's lair, there wasn't a trace of food anywhere. The wolf grinned and said, no, there's no mistake. You see, silly sheep, I'm just a big fake. And he rips off his sheep suit. Now come over here. Don't try to go back. You are my dinner, my tasty sheep snack. The little sheep screamed and dived underneath the wolf's snapping jaws and razor-sharp teeth. I told you the sheep was in trouble. Up into the mountain, the frightened sheep fled. He had no idea just what to do. But all of a sudden, he came to a stop. The mountain, he got too high for the mountaintop. Uh-oh, what's there? It's a lion. Look at that long teeth that that lion has. Ooh, that's pretty scary. For blocking his path, the little sheep saw a huge angry lion who started to roar. The lion was mean and prideful and bad. He provided, though, the country, he always was mad. In order to show off his strength and his might, he tried to devour the sheep in one bite. With fury he growled, "How dare you come here? This is my mountain. Isn't that clear?" Then making a lunge with his powerful paws, he sliced at the air with his long, deadly claws. The sheep backed away on the mountain's flat top, but couldn't go further or down he would drop. So he leaped on the lion and slid down his tail and landed behind him, then ran down the trail. Far off in a distance, he saw a tall tree. "Finally," he said, "a safe place for me." He climbed up the tree, and taking a chance, he crawled to the end of a thin, tiny branch. "At last," breathed the sheep, "I'll take a short rest. And just like a bird, I'll hide in this nest." But the sheep felt so sad. "I want to go home. I'm tired of being so scared and alone. I miss the good shepherd. I'd much rather be following him than stuck in this tree." But just at that moment, from out of nowhere, a slithering snake hung down in the air. The snake was a liar, an evil one too. The words that he spoke were always untrue. He said to the sheep, "Your shepherd is cruel. He'll never forgive you. Stop being a fool." His tongue darted out, and he started to hiss. "Come here, little lamb. Let me give you a kiss." "Come here," he repeated. "Come here, pretty please. I'll wrap all around you and I'll give you a squeeze." The sheep wiggled out. He barely got free. He jumped to the ground and he started to flee. But the snake was behind him, the little sheep knew. The wolf and the lion were chasing him too. But when he got tired and wanted to quit, he suddenly fell into a dark open pit. The sheep couldn't see. The pit was so dark. Above him, the beasts were set to attack. "Oh, what should I do?" the little sheep sighed. "I'm trapped and alone. I just want to cry. I've been so confused, so wrong, and so blind. My shepherd was caring and loving and kind. I should never have left. It was all a mistake. I'm tired of wolves and of lions and snakes." I need to turn the page around to read this, because look at the top of that pit is the shepherd. On the bottom is the sheep. But then the sheep heard the most wonderful sound. It came from above, from up on the ground. The shepherd was back. The shepherd was here. The shepherd was calling his name loud and clear. He had left all the flock for one sheep who was lost, to rescue and save him, no matter the cost. He trounced the huge lion. He crushed the sly snake. He flung the old wolf by his tail in a lake. And he pulled the sheep out from down in the pit. And on his strong shoulders, he made the sheep sit. He carried him back with a smile that was bright to the field by the mountain. What a beautiful sight. The sheep were all glad to see their small friend. He promised to never ever leave them again. So the shepherd, he said, I'm sorry I strayed. Forgive me for all the mistakes I've made. All is forgiven, the shepherd replied, and the sheep could detect tears of joy in his eyes. My heart is so happy. My love is so deep. Welcome back to your family. Welcome home, my lost sheep. There's one more page if I can turn it. And then Jesus told them this parable. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. I tell you that in the same way, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. That's from Luke 15, verses 3 through 7. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. I like this story. I hope you enjoyed it too. Simply called The Sheep That No One Could Find. Well, thank you for sharing this time with me. This is a great story and a great book. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Many blessings. See you next time. Bye for now.